Dog Films presents Paid to Dream with Charles Dennis.
Hello, it's Friday. It's Paid to Dream with Charles Dennis, yours truly. I see guys on these other podcasts say, before we get any further, just like us or click us or do what you want. We're going to get out there one way or another. And now, my very, very special guest in Brooklyn, Nicole Ansari-Cox.
Hello, Charles.
Hello,
Lovely
Nicole.
to see you.
Thank you so much. So Casablanca was on the other night. It must be the 106th time that I've watched it. But you're the only person I know who has worked with a member of the cast.
Yeah. I worked with Côte Bois. And for those who know Casablanca, if you don't know Casablanca, I don't know.
But we don't want to talk to them
But
if they don't know.
don't want to talk to you because,
Yeah.
like, that's a sacrilege. So do it now if you haven't watched Casablanca. Arguably one of the best movies ever made. And there is this tourist, this
The
German
opening
tourist.
sequence. Yeah.
Yes. And they're talking about the time. And he said, what watch?
Oh, no,
Watch
but that's
that
later on.
time."
No, but Kurt Bois is at the very beginning with the English couple.
Oh, yes, yes.
And he tells them, beware, beware, there are thieves. And while he's talking, he's stealing the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have to watch it again to make sure I got all the quotes right. But when I was 12, I think I had my first speaking role, or maybe my second speaking role at that time in Germany, and I played the great grandchild of Côte Bois. And I did not know how famous he was because he was at that point probably already in his 80s, 90s. He was old, yeah, for sure. And later on, I think I saw Casablanca again because I watched it again and again and again. And I saw his name in the credits. And I went, oh my God, he played my grandfather.
What are your memories? Was he nice to you? Do you?
Oh, he was utterly charming. He was as charming as you would think he would be when you watch him, because he's so delightful as an actor. And yeah, he was just lovely.
He obviously fled the Nazis because there he was all through the 40s in Hollywood, and then he was gone. So he must have gone home.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know what happened to him. I'm going to get Brian on to do the research.
Yeah,
We love looking at the bios of some of the actors who've been forgotten, that we go, oh yeah, I've seen this actor. Who is it? Oh, he fled the Nazis. He's from Vienna originally.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's amazing the people who came here and then went back. Albert Basserman, who was, the Olivier of the German theater in the early part of the 20th century, fled because of the Nazis, never learned to speak English, won an Academy Award nomination for foreign chorus, and learned his roles phonetically.
Oh my God.
And he was such a charming old fellow. And I think he waited till the other person's lips. Now I'm going to sprechen again. I know, yeah. But he went back. He died a couple of years after the war ended, but a lot of these people they all went back. The one I find fascinating is Peter Lorre. He went back. Yeah, because he was Brecht's boy. I mean, Brecht came and begged him in California to come back. But by that time, he was a drug addict and but he did go back and he starred and directed in a movie just before he got in 1950 called Der Verlorene.
Der Verlorene.
About a Holocaust survivor. And what's amazing is to watch him in German as a mature man. it's a whole other actor.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Peter Lorre in the American, in the English-speaking world, became this kind of creature, right? He had like a creature-like quality, and he was genius and wonderful. But when he spoke German, he was a really fine thinker and a really delicate actor, not as broad-stroked as we know him from the American movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you can find it on YouTube. There's also a documentary on the making of it, and it's absolutely fascinating. And he was a wonderful director, but never got a second chance, you know. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you started when you were 9 years old in Tator.
Tatort. Well, no, I wasn't. Tatort, I was 17 when I did Tatort.
Okay, so
Tatort is.
your 9-year-old job was what, with Kurt Bois in that play, or did?
No, not with 9-year olds. I had after school programs, and so I did theater, theater workshops and stuff like that. So my first role, I must have been either 10 or 11, and it was, this crew came to Ricky in the school to look for a class for this bullying story. It was like a youth program about, that was teaching youth not to use drugs and this and that, and they always had like a feature, and so they were wrecking for the feature and casting, and they had chosen the class next to my class, and I saw the crew, and I wanted to be an actor when I saw Casablanca. When I saw what's her name? Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, yeah.
When I saw Ingrid Bergman, I don't know, she came like an angel. And I said to my mom, when I grow up, I want to do what she does. I was 5 years old at the time. So skip to, 11, here's my chance. I've been already for years training in the craft. And I ran to the crew and to the director, and I said, no, this is the wrong class. I think you meant to choose our class because we have a person who can play the victim. He's the fat guy over there. And we have a lot of people who could be the bullies, and they switched. They thought I was so funny and so bold. I became the bully in that feature, and our class was chosen.
Well, bold. I still remember going to the Odyssey Theater to see The Lower Depths,
Yes.
and you came running out on that stage in that white shift, and I just thought, man, is she hot? Stop it. That's Mrs. Cox. Stop it. That was something else. You're fearless.
Yeah, well, that was great. That was actually a really great show. It was nominated for like 9, what are the equivalent of the Tonys in LA? The Ovation Awards.
Ovation Awards, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a Russian director who worked at the Moscow Arts, whose show, The Lower Depth, which was like a copy of what we did in English, is still running in the program of the Moscow Arts. His name was Valery Belyakovich. And he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But I remember it was a very physical show, right? We
Yeah.
did all this like rolling at the same time, a
Oh.
lot of choreography. It was like out there. And I think the actress that was playing my part, I forgot the lead role, the lead female role name in the lower depths. But Vasilia, I forgot the name. Anyway, because we Americanized it, I was called Jennifer. And so I got called in because I was doing Deadwood at the time. And there was Russian actor in Deadwood who
Yes.
came to me on set. What's his name again? Pasha Lishnikov.
Right. He ran the newspaper in Deadwood, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he came to me and he said, would you come audition for this Russian director? Because the American actress he chose, she just doesn't get it. And you come from Europe, you probably understand more. He once came for an audition, and I remember like the way he directed was like, you roll floor, you bank roll right, then speak. You know, it was like, but I'd worked with a lot of weirdos in Europe, so I did know how to do it, and I ended up playing it here.
I jump around in his thing because that's the way
It's
my mind
fine. It's
works.
fine.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation. It's fun.
I know I've asked you this before, and he's told me, but how did you meet Brian? Was it in London?
Oh, we actually met. I had just finished drama school in Hamburg, and I was in Zurich in a repertory company doing my first show, which was the Scottish play. And I had 2 weeks off. So my friend Oliver said, the National Theatre of the UK is coming to perform King Lear and Richard III. And I want you to come and help me welcome the company, set up the party, etc. I said, yeah, sure. So I got on a train from Zurich, took me ages to get there, and I set up the party, and I saw Brian as King Lear. This was in 1990 or 91. And I was floored. I'd never seen, I thought he was English, and I said, I've never seen an English actor, but of course he's Scottish, be so emotional whilst having such mastery over the language, but being so emotionally connected and so physical. He was so physical. It was Deborah Warner who directed him, and I mean, it was thrilling. It was honestly the best thing I'd ever seen. And so I kept seeing King Lear, the next day Richard III, and I ended up going out with another actor, Edmund of the company, and he introduced me to Brian. He warned me, he said basically, if he's not very nice to you, then don't take that personal because, he's a bit of a loner, blah, blah, blah. And he saw me and we were just like, lit up. We were talking all night, dancing salsa, and my boyfriend kept looking and going, what the fuck is going on? And when Brian saw me walk in, they were playing at the Piccolo Teatro in Milano, and I went for a weekend or something. When he saw me walk into the pizzeria, I walk in, he stood up, and then he realized, oh, she didn't come for me, and sat down. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I've come for him, not for him. And 8 years later, we met again. He was doing a show on Broadway.
You didn't see each other for 8 years?
Didn't see each other. I meant to go to London to study with him because I wanted to, study Shakespeare with him, and it never happened. I ended up in Paris. And in Paris, I sat in an English bookstore and read his book, The Lear Diaries, convinced that I would be in it, but of course I wasn't. and I ended up in New York. I see this picture next to my teacher, Uda Hagen. So Uda was doing a show, he was doing a show, and I said to my friend, we have to go and see this actor. He's the best actor in the world. You've never seen anything like it. And so I wrote him a little note that I gave the doorman, which was next door to the theater where we were seeing Sandra Bernhard perform. And the next day we were on the phone, and I ended up seeing his show, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
27 years ago. Mm.
Oh my God.
I was a baby, obviously.
That's so, yeah, I know. He could have been arrested for all that. I hadn't seen him for years, and I went to see this play off Broadway about a theater critic and vampires or something.
Saint Nicholas by O'Connor.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there on the aisle about halfway down, and this guy makes his entrance from the back, and as he goes by me, he goes, "Hello, Charles." And he goes,
Ah.
oh my God. It's so funny. I guess it was 1989. I was rehearsing a show in London to go to the Edinburgh Fringe, and wonderful director named Edward Hardwick, and he'd gone to a birthday party the day before, and he came and he said, "Brian Cox sends his regards." I said, "Brian Cox? I haven't spoken to this guy in 20 years, but
Wow.
you know what it's like,
You've known each other for a very long time.
I met him in 1969.
No way. Why?
Yeah. And I was living in a flat, Sussex Gardens, with a bunch of guys who had been at the Birmingham Rep. And Brian had been there as well. And that's where I met Michael Gambon and all these people who turned up. But, and he was with Caroline. And I remember they said to me, they're like the Tracy and Hepburn of, I said, which is which? But, she was this grande dame and he was this roughneck, but I always loved him. I loved him and still do. So you have become part of the Foo Dog family. The first thing we did together was Hard 4, where I said, yes, a German-Iranian actress, of course she should play an Hispanic newscaster. So you were...
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was a lot.
We would be arrested for that, yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to get a clip from that to put in here. Donna Hernandez.
Donna Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
To our own Donna Hernandez in Chino.
Thanks, Biggs. I'm standing here with legendary flying jailer Orville Chisholm, the man responsible for transporting Garvey Rogers to Folsom Prison. What went wrong, Deputy Chisholm?
Oh, well, no doubt in my mind. This plan was a very carefully executed and planned plan right from the start.
You're saying Garvey Rogers had outside assistance?
Oh, no doubt in my mind. There were three of them. Two of those Gen Xer kids and an older man in a cowboy jacket. He looked like a pansy to me.
What a crock of shit.
Yes.
And I can't find Hamilton Camp, who was, I don't think you knew who he was. I sat you down to a promo. The little guy, we did that promo, and he was Bix Carew.
I do remember him, yes.
He was like one of the founders of Second City, king of improv, but also a great folk singer as well. He has many, many albums. He was a lovely guy. I wish I could find that. You guys were so funny together. But then you were out here, and I got you to do an episode of At Will at Large, where you were Saskia, the first Mrs. Atwill.
You have an accent.
So do you. Norwegian?
No, Swedish. And you? Where are you from?
Ich bin ein Berliner. Stockholm.
No. Gothenburg.
What? I have a slight hearing problem. Tinnitus.
Gothenburg.
Oh no! I was accepted at the Faculty of Science in Gothenburg.
You like it?
I never went. I got married instead. It happened all of a sudden. It was like a whirlwind romance. And then my husband disappeared.
Never to return, or?
I don't believe in never. It's not finite. It's not something you can see, touch.
You know that
You know, I have a Scientology story.
Please.
Yeah, so when I first came to LA, I was so green behind my ears. I didn't know that Hollywood was in LA. So I was positively surprised when I arrived for my workshop with Manu Tupu, a Hawaiian, method teacher. And I needed a place to stay. So in class, I was mentioning it, and he said, "Oh, honey, you go to this address on so-and-so Franklin and tell them you know me. They will put you up. You can be there with the other students." And I thought, okay. I arrive at this castle on Hollywood and Franklin, I believe. And it's the Church of Scientology. But of course, I'm fresh off the boat from Germany. And I'm like, hello. And I arrive and I see these people with the hats for graduation. So I'm thinking these are all scientists. Oh. There were books by L. Ron Hubbard everywhere about the universe, what is God, And I thought, wow, interesting. And so they put me up with a bunch of girls in the dorm. There's like a dorm on top. And we would discuss late into the night the universe and things like that. But I still had no idea where I was until a few days in, they called me to the office and asked me to put my hands on a lie detector and look in their eyes. And I realized that he was trying to hypnotize me. And so he said, "Please look at me when I ask you questions." And I said, "No, you're trying to hypnotize me." And he's like, "No, I'm not trying to hypnotize you. I just like to have eye contact with the person I'm talking to," and so on. So long story short, I had a boyfriend and he picked me up. I think it was even that night. And he said, "What the fuck are you doing at the Church of Scientology?" And I said, "What do you mean, church? It's not a church. These are scientists." And these are not scientists. And so I asked to leave, but they had my passport. Mm-hmm. And they held it. And it took me a while to get the passport because they offered me a position there. They said, "You're really good at communication. People are talking about your communication skills, so you can skip level 1 to blah, blah, blah and become this." I have no idea. And I'm like, no, I'm an actor. I'm here to study acting. I'm not interested in anything else. And for years, they would send letters to my parents' home in Germany, because that was my address in my passport. In the hope, and that's what they do, in the hope that you're down, in the hope that you are looking for something and go, "Oh, this is the second coming and this is my chance, to, I don't know, grow." A lot of people lose a lot of money there, yeah. And a lot of famous people on the wall there.
Oh, yeah. Celebrity Center.
Yep.
Yeah, and there you were, looking for the scientists. It's still banned in Germany, I believe.
It's still banned, yeah. Yeah.
As I remember, John Travolta was trying to get Bill Clinton, when he was president, to pressure the German government. Yeah. Didn't happen.
Weird.
Yeah. No, they know about cults in Germany.
Oh yeah.
It ain't gonna happen again. No. I've seen you on stage several times, but the one I'll never. You buried up to here in the sand, in Vermont.
Oh, Sinners! Wow.
Yeah. Oh
in
no.
Boston?
No, in Vermont, wasn't it?
Oh, you saw it in Vermont, Mike.
At the very beginning, when I saw Orson in To Kill a Mockingbird, and you, and Brian had directed you.
Torrin, yeah.
Sorry, Torrin,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it was Torrin.
Yes.
Torrin
No, I have never seen Orson perform.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was an intense play. Play about.
That was I remember going back and writing on Facebook and just telling anybody, I think this is moving on. You've got to see this. Did you film it?
We haven't filmed it, and there is talk about maybe doing it as a film. Because honestly, I did it in Vermont, I did it in Boston. We want to bring it
Please
to New
tell
York.
people tell them the concept of the play.
Yeah. So it's about a Middle Eastern woman from an unnamed Muslim country. Um, it could be Iran, it could be anywhere in the world where they stone women. And there are 18 countries in the world at that time who were still practicing it, and it's still being practiced. It's banned in a lot of places, including places in Africa, Muslim places in Africa. But of course, in the small villages, they have their own customs, and they still do stuff like that. So a woman can be stoned for just being accused of doing something. So somebody just has to say, I saw your wife with Peter, and boom, she can get stoned. If he wants to get rid of her, they'll find a way to do that. This particular story is written by an Israeli writer called Joshua Sobol, who is just a fantastic writer. And I did a show with him many, many years ago in Vienna, which we also turned into a 3-part miniseries about Alma Mahler, Gustav Mahler's wife. And I played Alma.
Oh yeah,
And
I remember that.
yeah, and then he sent me this and said, I think this would be interesting. So it's about a woman who is an English teacher in an unnamed Muslim country who is being stoned to death for adultery. And she's buried up to here, no arms, not like Happy Days. At least you have the arms and the joy and the, and the, bag and lots of goodies in it. No, nothing like that. I literally just had the eyes. I could turn the head this much, but I couldn't move at all. And it was tough because, the guy who is collecting the stones is the boy with whom she had an affair. She had an affair with a younger student.
Yes.
And they get found out, and it turns out he reported on her. And the way that a man can redeem himself in those countries is by throwing the first stone, collecting the stones and throwing the first stone. And then he can be saved. And the only way that a woman could survive this is if all the stones have been thrown. She can crawl out of the hole, which happened to one woman in Iran. Basically, she's an outcast and she's a witch or whatever, but they do not touch her because that's kind of a miracle of God, Yeah, so this is an incredible play, but it's a very difficult play to do these days, I find, because there's already so much hatred towards the Muslim world. There's so much.
What's the title of it again?
Sinners.
Sinners, that's right.
Yeah.
It was one of the most extraordinary experiences I've had in the theater. I just
thank you.
was electrified.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
I'm going to see you next month in Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
For Ulrike and I are coming to see
Glenn Rothen.
Glenn Rothen. Yes. Yeah. Are you a Scot in that? No.
No. I'm actually, I'm an executive producer on the film, and I directed the second unit. Brian Cox, my husband, is the director, and he's also the co-star. Alan Cumming is the star in it. We have Shirley Henderson, and we have Alexandra Shipp, the only American of Barbie fame. And it's an incredibly beautiful story about, I guess, redemption, men's, family, whiskey distillery, going away, what is home, where do you belong to? It's a beautiful story. And we're premiering it on January 11th in Palm Springs.
I cannot wait. Okay, our time is up, but we're gonna have to come back next year and catch up and do even more. So I'm going to say thank you, Nicole. Wiedersehen.
It was lovely to speak to you.
Thank you, and I'll see you next month.
Wonderful.
This has been Paid to Dream. If you like us, you better like us. Click like, subscribe, send money.